All right, welcome to week 6. Big week again for everybody. Our week 5 payout went to Brian Leeper, who had Hakeem Nicks, won the most wide receiver individual yards with 142. Beat myself and Dez Bryant. Dez had 141, so Brian wins $10. That's actually Brian's second $10 payout for the year. He won week 1. And actually the second time Hakeem Nicks has been a part of a payout. So a lot of good karma going on there for those two.
So Leaper said 210. He's won $20 this week, but 0 wins.
He won
last week.
Yeah, he got one win.
Big win.
The trades again are slowing down. Bye weeks are coming, so people are short. Not really willing to do those 3 for 1, 3 for 2. Plus they're feeling good about some of their guys. Shane Vereen got traded along with Stephen Ridley. Bert was trying to trade those two a lot for a while for Kenbrell Tompkins and Willis McGahee. And then Andy turned around and traded Shane Vereen for Donald Brown. Bert wasn't done trading as he traded Zach Stacy and Hakeem Nicks to Leeper for Pierre Thomas and Vincent Jackson. My dad traded Giovanni Bernard and Deshaun Jackson for Marshawn Lynch and DeAndre Hopkins, probably the biggest name trade of the week. Number 1 pick getting traded. Brandon Jacobs, my dad traded for he got Brandon Jacobs and he got rid of Daryl Richardson, and then my brother just a couple hours ago.
So really, that's Reggie Wayne for Brandon Jacobs.
Yeah, it's what it turned down to for my dad. Reggie Wayne for Brandon Jacobs is if you want to put them all together. So that trade's going well for my dad.
Although I don't know if you just got the tweet, so sorry for you, Mr. Wet Spots. David Wilson has got a herniated disc in his neck.
Same injury Bradshaw had is what they're saying. Yeah. So might be done for the year. And then my brother just traded Charles Clay for the completely underachieving Dwayne Bowe. Tonight's trade for my dad was actually his trade of the year, which is actually really impressive. For the most part, everyone in the league is really easy to trade with.
Didn't Donnie have 11 trades week 1?
He had quite a few, but...
Is he still in the league?
Yes. He hasn't made a trade. I don't know what Trader Don's doing. Maybe he needs to send out some offers. He's got Steven Jackson coming back, so maybe he'll be wanting to send him out. He doesn't want to trade D'Angelo, though. I do know that. But anyone the 11 trade just proves that anyone like Drew who struggles to get trades done with anybody, it's probably on Drew. Because if you're trading with 11 other people, it's probably you, Drew. But speaking of 11 trades...
Or if he just had better guys to trade.
Yeah, Drew doesn't have much to do.
Just kidding, Drew.
Beer fines. We haven't talked about those much this year. Leeper won it last year with 84 beer fines was like his total. He's in the lead this year with 54. My dad has 46. Bert has 37. And Todd has 30. A lot of everybody else is kind of in the mid-20s, except for Justin, I think, has like 15, and so does Andy Wallace, has like 14. So
at least there's someone who can't even gets beers back when he buys a 6-pack.
Yes.
That happened last year, I think.
Yes. We had a guy, I think Brent actually finished with like 12 beers one year, which is almost impossible, I think. But it happened.
I do got to apologize again to Mr. Meatwagon Drivers, who showed me up again last week as CJ Spiller was outproduced by Jaquez Rogers and what's the other guy's name? Jason Snelling.
Yeah, he got Marino though. All right, Quiz outproduced Spiller as well.
Yes, he did.
Not a lot of running backs are.
Well, I think Marino got touchdown too, so I think he outproduced Spiller. Spiller just had 1 run.
Yes, he did. 54 yards.
So again, apologize, Brad. You're in the right end of that deal 2 weeks in a row.
And then Brad, for the 3rd time this year, the second highest scoring team has lost, as Andy Wallace lost to Brad, as Brad scored our yearly high for the year, 185. 3rd week in a row we've scored the highest points, so we'll see if somebody beats 185 the rest of the year, which would be really impressive. But like Andy said, I guess Brad knew what he was doing when he traded Spiller. It was really a low-scoring week after that. Todd beat Andy Nelson. Both of those guys were undefeated going into this. Todd won by 10, 138 to 128, which that game came down to the wire as Julio, who we all know is now done for the season. I would be crying too. But Julio dropped what would have been like a 40-yard touchdown with 5 minutes left or so, and that would have probably been the difference for Andy to win instead of Todd, which just shows how close everything is. And along with that Monday night game, Don Anderson, he beat Justin. That game was back and forth all night. Quiz Rogers.
Quit burping, dude. Those stink. They're freaking horrible.
Some lining kugels.
My God.
I can't help it. Quiz took the lead in the fourth quarter, and then Cullen Winslow scored a touchdown, so Justin was up 4 or 5 with probably 8 minutes left. Then Quiz Rogers went and scored another touchdown, and Don ended up winning by 10. I beat Blake by 40. His team didn't score 100 again, so he's got some work to do. But he's getting Gronk back, though. But Blake really, I don't think he knows. He really likes it when you let him know how bad his team's doing. So if you have any garbage offers to send him for Gronk, now would be the time to trade for Gronk, I think. Leaper beat Josh by 13 to get his first win. Another close Monday night game. Leaper doesn't win that game unless he makes a trade he made last week to get Nix, which won him the $10 and his first win. Because then he probably starts Roddy because he's not starting Pierre Thomas, and then he loses.
Just so you know, that's the second time a last-minute trade of Hakeem Nicks involved in a win.
Yeah.
Because I traded Hakeem Nicks to Burt, and I won because I got Eric Decker back.
And he's won $10, so and he's in a contract year, so maybe it's Hakeem Nicks is maybe bringing good karma for week to week.
Someone lost Julio Jones.
Yeah. Burt beat my dad by 12, and my dad lost Brian Hoyer as quarterback on the first series.
I know. That just absolutely sucks.
Brandon, yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
you have a Thursday night game, you got a quarterback in a good matchup, thinking, all right, easy 20 points, and he pulls his knee out in the first quarter.
Which
Sorry.
He ended up losing by 12, so it's safe to say he would have won had that not happened, as Whedon scored 14, so you imagine Hoyer would have done a little better regardless. So tough loss for my dad. Whipple beat Drew by 15. Really a bad week, like I said, as 8 teams scored 117 points or less, which seems low, but the league average is actually 122.5. I added everybody's scores up today and just divided by the 70 games we played, and you come up with that math. So
70 games? Oh, I'm only 4-1. That's 5.
Yep, that's
jeez. Iowa math.
Yeah. So, like we've always said, 125 points, you have a good shot to win. 6 teams are at 3-2. Todd's 5-0. Andy's 4-1. Three teams are at 2-3. A couple at 1-4, and Josh is the lone winless team. No one has really pulled away, especially in Andy Nelson's division now, where he's leading right now at 4-1, but just lost his best player and a top 10 player in fantasy in Julio. So, I mean, you could say that door is wide open. Our matchups this week, I play Brad, who is currently 5th in our division. I'm 2nd, but he's 2-3. I'm 3-2, so that win would change a lot of things.
Does Brad have you on points? So head-to-head, you guys tie. He'll beat you in the head-to-head and have you on total points for the double tiebreaker?
I'm ahead of him in points. I'm the 3rd highest scoring team. You're 2nd. Todd's 1st. Blake plays Leaper in a battle of 1-4 teams. Whoever would win would be 2-4 and would be looking kind of the outside in on the playoffs. As we said, the standings are really close still. Nobody's out of it at all. I mean, anything can happen.
Maybe that's how Leaper can win. He has to play a team with the same record as him, and then he wins.
Yeah.
0-4, 0-4 last week he won. 1-4, 1-4 this week he wins. 2-4. Who's he got next week? 2-4. Win.
Playing the worst team in the league helps too. So he beat Josh. Josh has the worst team.
Him or Blake?
Yeah.
We should have a poll.
Blake has more potential. Josh just has A.J. Green and Reggie Bush and Joy Bell.
Ooh. Trade J.J. Green for Julio Jones.
Josh plays Drew, as this could be Josh's first chance for a win, as Drew just traded Lynch. So Drew is also down some guys. Andy Nelson plays my dad. My dad's team is starting to get rolling. He's got all of his Redskins back off bye week now, so he doesn't have any major bye weeks the rest of the year.
Good matchup, too.
Yeah, and you're looking to recover. I think that's a Monday night game or Sunday night, too. Sunday night, so that's going to be high points against Dallas. Probably a battle for first place in that division at 2-4. But like we said, Andy's looking to recover after losing Julio, which can't be overstated.
I think that's the biggest loss across the board this year.
Oh, yeah, by far. I mean, the next, honestly, it would be Todd losing Peyton Manning, Forte or Adrian Peterson going down, something.
Well, I mean,
significant.
Injuries so far that have happened. There's been some decent injuries, but no catastrophic ones.
Well, it would take a lot to top that one.
I lost 2 guys for the season.
Bradshaw doesn't count.
Why not?
Because they traded for Trent Richardson. And Bradshaw was going to get phased out anyways. But you losing Julio actually makes everybody happy because you are the least favorite Andy. So it puts a smile on people's faces when you have failure. Bert plays Todd, battle of brother-in-laws. Todd's actually seen Bert's penis right in his face. Bert was once depanted in front of Todd, and Bert doesn't wear underwear, I guess, when he has sweatpants on. And so Bert's weighing right in front of Todd's face. Bert's made some moves this week. He's still trying to make moves as he's been pimping McGahee out there quite a bit. But Todd's team does just keep scoring.
Bert, it's going to come back and backfire you. I was pimping McGahee forever. Finally got rid of him, and he put up 15 points, which would have won the week for me.
Justin plays Whipple. Both are 3-2 and second in their division actually. So the winner will have a huge tiebreaker and may even be in first if Andy Nelson loses this week.
No, I've got 100 points on him.
Yeah, so either way. And Don Anderson plays Andy Wallace. Trader Don against everybody's favorite Andy. So
who had a bad beat? We need to get like a bad beat award.
3 weeks. Yeah, it is a good award. Good idea. That's something to look into. Our Week 6 payout this week is individual running back rushing yards. So if Adrian Peterson rushes for 122 yards, and that's the most, he wins, just like Hakeem Nicks, which not very many running backs are rushing for over 100 yards. So if you have one that does, you probably have a good shot this week. Most disappointing this week, Andy?
Most disappointing, I'm going to actually pick somebody who did not play. And mainly because nobody knew about this injury. Calvin Johnson is the most disappointing. Had an awesome matchup. Brad was probably loving it going against Green Bay, thinking it's going to be a big shootout, 38-35 type of game where Calvin could go for 120-2. And an hour before kickoff, he's inactive. Nobody really knew of the injury. And you got to panic. You don't have an opportunity to pick somebody up. So the biggest loser this week is Calvin Johnson. On the flip side, Brad still put up 185 without Calvin, which is very impressive.
Highest of the year. Best trade of the week.
Best trade of the week. Kind of liking the Marshawn Lynch trade right now. I think that was a perfect trade that kind of solidified Carl's backfield, made him kind of a force.
Yeah.
He's got a good matchup this week. He really needs to win to kind of get out of that knot in the middle of the black division or gold division.
I'm not sure which they are, actually.
One of the others. But it's a solid trade. Now you have 2 hardcore core running backs in Elf and Marshawn Lynch with a decent wide receiver and a quarterback who could put up 35. So Carl's putting himself in position to contend.
Are you worried Lynch goes beast mode on you this week?
You can always, especially in Seattle, it's almost automatic 101 or 2 in Seattle, and Tennessee's got a better than average defense, but I think they can still be run on.
I read a stat today. Marshawn Lynch is leading the league in rushing the past 3 years overall, and he's had 88 yards in like 90% of those games. Basically, you saw that stat?
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah.
He had more than 17 carries in a game.
Yeah, but he's money. And then your lock of the week to win.
What about the top performer?
Oh, that was next.
Oh, shifting gears on me. Lock of the week, I'm going in my own division in a big battle for second place. Tongue bang your fart box and sexual napalm. It looks like a good matchup on paper, but I think the games that Tongue bang your fart box has is just that much better than going against Sexual Napalm's Ray Rice and Drew Brees combo. So Tongue Bang Your Fart Box is going to move into second place with a win over Sexual Napalm.
So who was your top performer?
Top performer this week, he's been top performer all the way every single week with 20 touchdown passes this year. So I don't know why I haven't mentioned Peyton Manning. So I think fuck it, he wasn't even the best quarterback of the game. Tony Romo was my top performer last week. He threw for more yards than Peyton Manning, threw for more touchdowns than Peyton Manning, threw the same number of interceptions as Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's getting all the love. Romo, everyone's hating on Romo because he threw an interception late in the game. So, oh, that's his forte, that's his forte, that's his forte. Forte's on Wet Spot's team. 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. Tony Romo's top performer.
Brad likes Tony Romo.
Brad likes Tony Romo.
Yeah, he does. Which comes first? Josh winning his first game of the year or Todd losing his first game of the year?
Brad? Josh winning or?
Josh winning his first game. Josh is winless. Todd has not lost. So who does Josh win first or does Todd lose first?
Josh wins first. He plays Drew.
So you think Josh gets on the board this week?
Yep.
All right. Thursday night game.
Big one. That's going to be a big one.
Bears and
Thursday night game could
Giants.
actually decide a matchup this week.
Yeah, there's tons of fantasy performers on both sides. I mean, I think you've got all quarterbacks, all wide receivers, all tight ends. So
there's a slippery pickup. The waiver wire pickup of what was it? Wet Spots? Getting whoever picked up Jay Cutler was sneaky, especially this week.
Don Anderson.
That was a sneaky grab in his matchup.
He lost Vic.
Because the biggest performer on his opponent is Brandon Marshall, so you're canceling out your opponent's most chance for touchdowns by having a quarterback. So
he wasn't thinking like
that.
It's
a sneaky move
That's
that
not what he was
may
thinking.
actually win the game for him.
He didn't think. He thought I lost Vic. I need a quarterback. He didn't think. Oh, I'm playing Brandon Marshall. He didn't think like that at all.
I tried to offer him Rivers, but he said no.
And Don, you know I'm right. You did not think that.
But it's sneaky. You watch.